Something unprecedented just happened in American politics. And it has nothing to do with what you think. A former Republican strategist who helped elect George W. Bush and John McCain just went on national television and said something no conservative operative has ever said about a sitting U.S. president. He called Donald Trump a direct threat not to America, to Canada. And millions of Americans are now agreeing with him. This is Schmidt, co-founder of the Save America movement, a lifelong Republican who spent decades building the conservative coalition that Trump now controls. And he just broke every rule of party loyalty to defend someone who isn't even American. Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. The question isn't why Schmidt did it. The question is why hundreds of thousands of Americans are joining him. Let me explain what's really happening here. Because the mainstream media is missing the bigger story for months. Donald Trump has been escalating attacks on Canada. Tariffs, insults, trade threats, calling Canada a national security risk, mocking Mark Carney personally, treating America's closest ally like an enemy state. This isn't new Trump behavior, but the response to it is completely new. Schmidt appeared on national television and didn't hold back. He called Trump's actions toward Canada a fit of petulance and pettiness. He said the tariffs are collapsing the American economy. He pointed out that small businesses in Florida and California are hemorrhaging because Canadian tourists have disappeared. And then he said the part that went viral. Donald Trump has become a profound threat to Canada. Think about that for a second. Republican strategist is warning a foreign ally that the American president is dangerous. That's not partisan politics, that's a diplomatic crisis. But here's where it gets interesting. Schmidt isn't alone. Across the United States, from conservative commentators to everyday citizens, people are speaking up for Mark Carney. They're praising his leadership, his composure, the way he refuses to match Trump's chaos with more chaos. The Save America movement now has over 500,000 members, and their message is clear. Americans are tired of watching their president attack allies while the world burns. They're exhausted by the constant division, the ego-driven tantrums, the trade wars that hurt American workers more than anyone else. And in that exhaustion, they're looking north at a leader who doesn't need to scream to be heard, who doesn't confuse volume with strength, who actually delivers results instead of just promising them. Mark Carney has done something almost impossible in modern politics. He's earned respect across enemy lines without compromising a single principle. American conservatives who would never vote for him are admitting openly that he represents the kind of leadership they wish they had. Schmidt explained it perfectly during his interview. He reminded Americans that the United States and Canada are two of the three countries that saved the world on D-Day, that this alliance defined the free world, that Trump is trying to destroy something that took generations to build. And he said that every Canadian should understand that Donald Trump is as much a threat to Canada as he is to American liberty. That's not hyperbole from a political opponent. That's a warning from someone who spent his entire career in Republican politics. The contrast couldn't be more stark. While Trump isolates America, Mark Carney is expanding Canada's reach across Asia, Europe, and beyond. While Trump bullies allies, Carney builds partnerships. While Trump demands loyalty through fear, Carney earns respect through competence. And Americans are noticing. Social media is flooded with one recurring theme. Canada gets it. Canadians understand that real power doesn't come from chaos. It comes from clarity, from steady, principled leadership that doesn't need constant validation. This is the moment that changes everything. Because for the first time in modern history, Americans aren't just defending their own democracy. They're defending Canada's. They're standing up and saying that Trump has crossed a line. That attacking Mark Carney isn't just wrong. It's dangerous. Schmidt put it best. The United States and Canada share more than a border. They share sacrifice, they share history, they share values. And Donald Trump is trying to tear that apart because he can't stand watching someone lead with dignity instead of dominance. So here's what happens next. As Trump continues his trade war, as the American economy suffers, as tensions rise, more Americans will look north and realize what they're missing. Leadership that doesn't require enemies to function. Vision that extends beyond the next news cycle. A prime minister who proves every single day that you don't need chaos to command respect. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because this story is far from over. Drop a comment and tell us what you think. Is Mark Carney the leader the world needs right now? We'll be covering every development as it happens.